Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Cassandra and this is a 30-minute practice for hockey players. We'll be focusing primarily on opening up the hip flexors, strengthening the glutes, and getting more motion through the upper back and shoulders. Let's begin in a wide-legged child's pose. Big toes are touching, knees are apart. Relax the upper body down and take deep belly breaths right here. In and out through the nose, relaxing the jaw, and intending the hips to drop down towards the heels. Let your belly be soft. Last few breaths right here. And then come on up onto hands and knees, all fours. Tabletop pose as you take cat and cow. So on the inhale, drop the belly, lift the gaze, and curl your tailbone up. And as you exhale, you're rounding your spine, bringing your chin towards your chest and letting your head be heavy. Take a few more just like this. Try to keep your elbows straight as you go through the motions. And we're not trying to jam the lower back, we're really just trying to open through the upper back and chest and shoulders. So see if you can feel it in that area most of all. And then step your right foot forward in between your palms, low lunge. Start with your fingertips down so you can really feel your hips lower down close to the mat. And then press into both feet to reach your arms up. You're trying to squeeze your shoulder blades behind you to get the biceps along the ears. Tailbone is pointing down to keep the lower back nice and flat. Engage the lower belly. Interlace your fingers and bring your palms onto your upper right thigh. Traction your leg away from you as you reach your heart up. A little bit of a back bend. Really, we're just trying to get deeper into our left hip flexors. Release, bring your fingertips down, back through to tabletop pose, and then reach your right leg and right heel up towards the ceiling. Start to pulse that heel up, engaging the glutes and hamstrings as you do so. Keep the belly really strong here so that you don't curve too much into the lower back. Flexing at the foot, take a few more, still reaching your heart forward, pressing into that heel. And then step your right foot all the way back, lean into your left hand, and reach your right arm up towards the sky. So a variation of side plank pose. You're trying to get your hips to lift up high, and then float your right leg off the mat. So you're only balancing on your left palm and left knee. Look up if it feels comfortable. And then let's release back to tabletop pose. Lower all the way down onto your belly. We'll find cobra. Chin and chest lift up on the inhale. Keep your palms down on the mat. So once more, this is not about the lower back. We're trying to open up the chest and go into the upper back and shoulders. So feel your heart pull forward. Lower back down. And then press up onto hands and knees. Walk your palms forward and melt your heart down. Puppy pose. So this time your hips are staying directly over the top of your knees and it's your chest that lowers down to the mat. You should be feeling a little bit of an opening into the armpits, and maybe even the pectorals for some of you. Your forehead may or may not touch the ground. Doesn't matter if it doesn't. Just keep pressing your fingertips and knuckles down into the mat. Come back up to your tabletop pose and we'll do low lunge on the second side, so left foot forward. And keep your fingertips down at first just to allow your hips to sink down a little bit lower. And then engage through the legs as you reach your arms up. Biceps along the ears. Tailbone is heavy as it points down. Try not to curve into the lower back. And let's interlace our fingers and bring your palms to rest over the top of your left thigh. Pull that thigh away from you as you reach your heart up, a little bit of a back bend. Still that same deep low lunge. Release, palms down, back to your tabletop pose, and then keep your left knee bent as you reach your left heel up towards the sky and start to pulse your heel up. Engage the glute, engage the hamstrings. Try not to sway the lower back. Let this be about the legs only. Take a few more. And then stretch your left leg back behind you. Lean into your right hand and reach your left arm up. Modified side plank. Looking up if it's comfortable for your neck, and then float your left leg off the mat. And let's release. Come back to your tabletop pose. Lower all the way down onto your belly. Find your cobra. Chin and chest lift up. Keep your hips, legs, and feet down on the mat. Lower back down. Press back onto all fours, and we'll take puppy again. So you're walking your palms forward, melting the chest down. But this time we're going to press our palms together, bend the elbows, and reach your fingertips up overhead. This should help you feel a bit more of a stretch into the triceps. So we're here for a good 5 or so deep breaths. Keep trying to melt your heart down. Breathing in and out through the nose. Straighten the arms. Come back up and find your first downward facing dog. So lift your hips up and back. Your feet are hip width distance apart and your palms are shoulder width distance apart, fingertips spreading wide. Bend your knees as much as you need to here. Feel the tailbone curl up, the chest press towards the thighs, the neck relax. And then reach your right leg all the way up towards the sky. Bend your right knee and open up your hip. Straighten your leg. And then come forward into plank. Squeeze your right knee in towards your chest. And very lightly drop your right foot in between your palms. Lower your back knee down. Find your low lunge once more. Both arms reach up. Hips sink down low. Stretch into the hip flexors. And let's take a twist. Left palm down on the mat. Right arm stays up. And feel your right shoulder roll open so that you expand through the chest. If you'd like to take this deeper, find a quad stretch as you bend into your left knee and grab a hold of your foot with your right hand. You're still rolling your right shoulder back, so there's a twist here as well. Release, fingertips down, curl your back toes under, and straighten your right leg as you fold over that right thigh, getting into the hamstrings. Square off the hips, bend your right knee, lift your back knee off the mat, and find a high lunge as you reach both arms up. So back knee is lifted, hips are sinking down low, getting even deeper into the hip flexors. Same move we did before, interlace your fingers, place them onto your upper thigh, traction the leg away from you as you lift the collarbones up. Little bit of a back bend. Come back through to center. Reach your arms up overhead. And then open up into Warrior Two. So right foot stays the same, but your back left foot needs to be parallel to the short edge of your mat. Engage your right glute to help open up your right knee so that hip, knee, and ankle are in line. Both arms reach out, gazing over your right fingertips. Bend into your right knee a little bit more to drop your hips, open up into the inner groin. Tailbone is still pointing down. And then cartwheel your palms down onto the mat as you inhale. Find plank pose, shoulders over your wrists. Belly is super strong here. Try not to hold your breath. And then lower your push-up all the way down onto your belly. Find Cobra, the same way we've done before. Chin and chest lifts up. Exhale, melt your heart down, and then press back into your downward dog. Take a few breaths in your downward facing dog, softening the neck, allowing the head to be heavy. Fingertips are still spreading wide. Heels might reach a little bit closer towards the mat. Lower belly hugs in. Let's reach our left leg up and back. Bend your left knee, open up that hip. Keep squaring and rolling your left shoulder down. Nothing changes in the chest. Straighten your left leg and then shift forward into plank pose. Hug your knee in towards your chest. And with control, step your left foot forward in between your palms. Drop your right knee down on the mat for a low lunge. Arms lift up high. Shoulders stay over the top of the hips. And we'll come into a twist and a quad stretch. First, feel an opening through the chest. Grow a little bit taller through the spine. And then maintain that length as you drop your right palm down. Left arm stays up as you roll that left shoulder back. And then reach your left hand to grab a hold of your right foot. Maintaining your twist as you lean into your right palm. Bringing that heel in close towards the glutes. Release your back foot, bring your palms down onto the mat and transition into your half splits as you straighten your left leg and fold over that thigh. Heart is reaching forward, flat back. Bend into your left knee once more, lift your back knee off the mat and find a high lunge this time. So both arms lifting up. Bend into your left knee a little bit more, and then interlace your fingers, place your palms onto your upper thigh, and as you traction that leg away from you, lift your collarbones up high. Keep your gaze steady. Maybe drop the hips a tiny bit lower. Come back through to center, reach your arms up, inhale. And then exhale, open up into your warrior two, so your back right foot is parallel to the short edge of your mat, arms open up. Still bending deeply into your left knee and squeezing the left glute to open up that knee a little bit more. Spreading through the fingers and toes, strong through the legs. One more breath here, and then look down as you bring your hands down on the mat. Inhale to plank. Lower belly hugs in, hold here, heart reaches forward. Strong inner thighs as you lower all the way down onto your belly. Point your toes back, lift chin and chest up, cobra. And then back into your downward dog. Find your breath. And then walk your palms to the back of the mat. Take a forward fold. So keep your feet hip-width distance apart, and you might need to bend your knees a lot here. They really don't need to be straight. Instead of focusing on the hamstrings, feel your upper body drape over the legs. Holding onto opposite elbows, maybe swaying from side to side, whatever feels good for you here. Steady breaths in and out through the nose. Bend your knees and come all the way up to stand, rolling one vertebrae at a time. And we'll step back at the top of our mat. Taking warrior two, keep your left foot forward, step your right foot back, right foot parallel to the short edge of your mat. Bend into your left knee, reach your arms out. So same pose we've just done. Aligning the shoulders over the hips. Drop your right palm down onto your leg. Left arm reaches up and over. Reversing your warrior. Keep bending into your left knee. You're just stretching the side of your waist. Come back to center. Reach your arms straight up, biceps along the ears, and then slowly start to tip and tilt your chest forward towards your left leg. Extended side angle. Only your obliques are holding you up here. Take deep breaths in and out through the nose. And then come back through to your warrior two. Straighten your front leg. Turn your toes in so both feet are parallel to the short edges of your mat. Clasp your arms and hands behind you. And then tilt at the hips as you fold forward. So you're trying to lift your knuckles up and over, freeing up the upper back, getting a little bit more movement in the shoulders. Keep the shoulders lifted away from the ears, pressing firmly through both feet. You're intending the crown of their head to reach down towards the mat. Release your fingertips down on the mat. Inhale, come up halfway. Bring your hands on your waist, press your feet down and lift the chest back up. And then turn your right toes out, bend into your right knee and find warrior two on the second side. Engaging the right glute to help that right knee open up a little bit more, externally rotating your hip. Sink down a little bit lower. And reverse your warrior, left palm down, right arm up. Get a nice stretch from your right shoulder all the way down into your right hip. Keep bending into your right knee. Try not to straighten the leg. Come back to center. Extended side angle so both arms reach straight up and then start to tilt your chest towards your right leg. Keep pressing firmly into your left foot. Sink your hips a tiny bit lower. Roll your left shoulder back so you're not collapsing forward. Back up into your warrior two. Straighten your front leg and this time turn your heels in, toes out, hands on your waist. Bend your knees, drop your hips, and then bring your palms to the inner thighs and you might want to sway a little bit from side to side. We'll take a little bit of a twist here. Drop your right shoulder down, roll your left shoulder back. Use your palms to press and open up the inner groin a little bit more. Switch sides, left shoulder down, right shoulder rolls back. Back through to center, straighten your legs and step to the top of the mat. So playing with a little bit more balancing poses and getting into the hips, cross your right ankle over the top of your left thigh. Keep that foot flexed and then start to bend into your left knee as you reach your hips back, chest forward. You should start to feel a little bit of a stretch in your right hip and glutes. Try to get your upper body parallel to the ground and then reach your arms up and over, biceps along the ears. Fingertips are reaching towards the top of the mat. Send your hips back and then let's drop our fingertips down onto the mat, finding a fold. Take a few breaths here, just enjoying the stretch. With control, start to lift your chest back up, bring your hands to your heart and lift all the way up. And then release your right foot, right leg to float all the way back as you lean your chest forward, coming into warrior three. Keep your right hip rolling down so that your right toes point down. The trick here is to keep your gaze steady and not hold your breath. Lower belly hugs in, spreading through the toes. Use your core here to protect your lower back. And with control, come all the way back up. Squeeze your right knee in towards your chest, tailbone anchors down. Release, and we'll go do the second side. So shake it out. Hands at the heart, cross your left ankle over your right thigh. Keep that left foot flexed as you start to bend into your right knee. Standing pigeon pose, your hips go back, chest leans in forward. Strong abdominals. Bring your chest parallel to the ground and then reach your arms up overhead. Take another breath or two here. And then drop your fingertips down onto the mat, taking a fold. So less about developing balance, more about stretching and creating mobility in the hip and lower back. Start to lift the chest back up, hands at the heart, press into your standing leg to come all the way up. And then you're going to reach and extend your left leg back behind you as you tilt your chest forward, finding warrior 3 on the second side. Left hip rolls down so that left toes point down. Try to find stability through your standing leg. It doesn't really matter how high you get your back leg up. What's more important is that you build a strong foundation through your supporting leg. And come all the way back up to stand. Grab a hold of your left knee or left shin as you draw it in towards the chest. Standing up as tall as you can so that the crown of the head lifts up, shoulders soften down. Release and shake it out. Stand at the top of the mat. Let's take a flow. Inhale, reach your arms up, bring your palms to touch. Exhale, fold forward. Find a halfway lift, flat back. And then exhale, plant your palms, step both feet back into plank pose. Inhale here. And then exhale, lower down onto your belly. Point your toes back, take cobra. Chest lifts up. Exhale, back into your downward facing dog. Curling tailbone up, pressing the chest towards the thighs. Reach your right leg up and back, bend your right knee and open up that hip. Straighten your right leg and then bring your right knee behind your right wrist. Extend your left leg out. We're going to take pigeon pose and we're going to hold here for about a minute or so. So fold all the way down. Make sure you're not leaning on one hip more than the other. Really important that you keep your weight evenly distributed here. Try to relax the upper body. Let gravity do most of the work for you here. Very little effort required on your part. Just slow down the breath and allow yourself to relax. Start to walk your palms back in, lift the chest up, and ease your way back through into your downward dog. Do any little movements you need to do here to free up that right hip. And then we'll do the second side. So reach your left leg up and back, bend your left knee, open up that hip. Try to get your left knee to be really high and reaching up. And then straighten the leg. Bring your left knee behind your left wrist. Reach your right leg back behind you. Square off the hips, square off the shoulders. And then fold all the way down. Softening into the pose, getting yourself as comfortable as you can here so that you don't have to fidget and struggle. 10 very deep belly breaths. Few more breaths on this side. And start to lift yourself back up, making your way back through to your downward facing dog. Last one today, so just do whatever you need to do here. And then we'll lower down onto our knees. You'll need to fold the top and bottom edges of your mat so that your knees have a little bit of padding. We're going to take frog pose, which you've probably seen goalies do this pose a million times, but it's really good for any kind of hockey player or athlete. Really gets into the inner groin. So you need to keep your feet flexed and you're aligning your ankles with your knees. And then you're just leaning your chest forward, using your palms and forearms for support. We're going to hold this for about a minute or so. Your hips will naturally start to lower down a little bit closer towards the ground. And take your time coming out of the pose. Unwrapping your mat. Go ahead and lie all the way down onto your back. A few final stretches before we close our practice. Draw your right knee in towards your chest. Keep your left leg extended, pressing into your left heel. And take a twist. Bring your right knee across over towards the left side of your mat, maybe using your left palm to press it down, reaching your right arm out to the side so your right shoulder stays down. Breathe deep into the lower back. Come back through to center. Draw your left knee in towards your chest. Extend your right leg out. Take a twist. Cross your left knee over towards the right side of your mat. Use your right hand to press it down. Extend your left arm out. Come back through to center, and let's find Shavasana, our final resting pose. So straightening out the arms and legs, palms facing up towards the sky, maybe allowing the eyes to close. Give yourself a few moments or a few minutes here just to observe the breath and notice how your body feels now as opposed to when you first started your practice. When you are ready to get on with your day, please do so slowly and mindfully. Remember that you are in no rush. I'd like to thank you for doing this class with me. I really do hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, please subscribe to my channel. It makes a big difference to me. Thank you all again. Namaste.